You have activated a very strong protective instinct within this person with the energy of the tiger. This is somebody that wants to do everything in their power and then some to make sure that you feel not only safe to express yourself emotionally within the connection, but this is somebody that wants you to be able to walk through life with your head held high. This is somebody that does not want to bring chaos into your life, give you any sort of reason to feel that there is uncertainty as far as the stability of your connection, and also ways in which this person might have the ability to kind of serve as almost like silent backup for you in times where you are charging forth towards goals, or even just sort of moving through the world with the level of confidence that this person senses and sees within you that is very attractive. It is something that you have cultivated on your own, but this is somebody that is like, I want you to know that I stand by your side. Nobody better give you a hard time. Nobody better mess with you. Nobody better make you feel that in any way, shape, or form you need to somehow dim your light or, water yourself down, contain yourself, play small with your life. It's like this person loves it when you are operating in your most kind of wild energy, your most free energy, your most untamed energy. And it feels like this is somebody that maybe in the course of your connection with one another, they have witnessed the ways in which you have blossomed, maybe through their influence, or even like they came along at a point in your personal journey when you were trying to up level, you were trying to release blocks and hindrances from the past, and this person has had the privilege of getting a front row seat to that process. They like what they see. This is also something where this person feels like a gentle touch, a gentle approach that they've taken to this connection so far. It has done something in order to make you feel comfortable, maybe without even knowing it, where this person has kind of like gotten a peek at more of your true colors or the full spectrum of who you are as a person, and they love all of that. They want to make sure that within kind of the dynamic between the two of you, and also as that trickles out into how you're living your life in a more broad sense, that you feel very empowered. Even if the world is against you, this person will always be in your corner. Even if you're facing tough challenges or struggles even within yourself, this is somebody that wants to help, wants to give that silent solidarity. But don't mistake that kind of like silent still presence as somebody who is not willing or able to kind of pounce forth to defend you, to stand up for you, to advocate for you. Maybe this even involves kind of like gassing you up, kind of encouraging you to reach for those dreams, or, sitting with you in times where you are frustrated, or, you're struggling within yourself. This is somebody that's going to breathe life back into you in a variety of ways. This is also something where if you are facing pushback, or adversity outside of yourself, this is somebody that makes a formidable foe to those adversarial forces. They feel very protective over you. There's a lot of loyalty that they feel towards you, even at this stage in this connection. And the idea of anything kind of like making you sad, discouraging you, hindering you, limiting you in any sort of way, it kind of makes this person's blood boil. It makes them feel like, not on my watch. I'm not going to stand for that. Other romantic partners you might have had in the past could have been oblivious to such things. Maybe they contributed to some of those obstacles, or they just weren't the kind of people that was going to like jump in and fight someone else's battles. This person, however, is the type of person that's like, I will give that pushback in the times where your voice is silenced, you are outnumbered, you're feeling overwhelmed or confused. Please trust that I will be that person that kind of like pounces forth out of the shadows, and lets people know, or even kind of like moves energies around in a variety of ways, so that a clear path forward towards peace, towards stability, towards prosperity and abundance in a variety of ways is something you are able to safely navigate, and that you don't have to struggle so hard in order to feel that like you are in the right place and the right time within your life. And certainly as far as like romance is concerned, this person wants you to feel very like welcome, very accepted with them. within kind of the, framework of their life at this particular point in time. This is something where, again, they've seen that kind of like you've relaxed a little bit in their presence, or you've been like working on certain things, maybe you've accomplished, achieved certain things, you've had breakthroughs, whatever that looks like for yourself. This person has like witnessed you kind of softening into this radiant blossom of an individual, and they love that. They love what they see. They want to encourage that as opposed to, hindering that or discouraging it in any sort of way. We also have balance. Yeah, so it feels like this person loves kind of the living work of art that you are. They've gotten a glimpse of both your light and shadow side, and this is something that they don't judge you for that. They understand your light because they now have a concept of that shadow. And it feels like there's a deep appreciation for all of those aspects of you. Days when you're very agreeable and it's like, easy to communicate with you, things are going really well. And days when, you might be kind of moody, you might be kind of distracted or stressed out. Even if that is something that has, kind of flicked this person's ego on different occasions and, has sort of activated, certain kind of like human feelings and like misunderstandings between the two of you. This is somebody that circles back around to this understanding that like, hey, I want to work things out with you. I want to find a way to understand you even in the days and the times when it's very hard for us to kind of like comprehend what the other is going through. This person sees that you are worth the effort, to kind of think outside of the box, to definitely take time to observe and respond rather than react. They in some sort of way feel that maybe you've got like a unique personality, a feisty personality, or you're even just a deep person within a very shallow world or, shallow experiences. And they feel that you might be somebody that, is often misunderstood, or people have, leapt to certain conclusions about you, or whatever it is that you're kind of like working on, you're trying to achieve and cultivate or maintain for yourself. It's almost like there's a lot of pressure upon you. And so this person doesn't want to be an added source of stress or pressure. They want to be somebody that operates as like a helpmate for you, somebody that's there to kind of like talk sense into you when you need it, and also someone who is there to kind of breathe life into you in the times where you feel very confused, or you're struggling, or you're frustrated, or you're stressed out, or you're pissed off. Like all of that is something that this person doesn't want to like change anything about you. They love your contradictions. They love these polarities within you that only make sense when the bigger picture is taken in. And so this person really, it feels like, wants to bring some kind of balance to the situation, just in case you were dealing with people like in your life currently, past partners, ex-friends, frenemies, former family members, just like people just like annoying people, negative people out in the world, just whatever that looks like, who may have been sort of committed to misunderstanding you, rubbed the wrong way by just you being yourself, or anything that has kind of like made you question, am I too much? Am I too little? What do I need to kind of like fix or work on in myself? Why do I keep kind of encountering these people that, just turn into lessons? This is somebody that doesn't need all the fine details of that. They're going to assume, and probably rightly so, that somebody like you who has a very bright light about you that is only possible because of the depth of your shadow, that you are the type of person who requires someone who is a very loud cheerleader, a very loud advocate. Maybe you've told this person about times where you've been let down, people you've had to disconnect from, or who have discarded or abandoned you. This is somebody that wants to show like, hey, I'm here to go the distance with you. When times are tough, I'm going to grip even harder to this connection. I'm not someone that's going to be easily discouraged. I'm not going to be scared off. I'm not going to kind of walk away just when things, become a little more challenging. And so this is somebody, it feels like, that wants to invest time and effort at this point, in kind of like showing you that in subtle ways and very obvious ways, that they are somebody who, loves you for all that you are, and they want to, not just that they're willing to, but they want to go the distance with you. You also have octopus. Yeah, so it feels like this person is thinking of different sorts of ways in which they can provide you like reassurance that even on the days when, the connection isn't perfect, they do something that kind of like creates static between the two of you, or you do something that kind of like irritates them, that this is not the type of person that is kind of like easily thwarted. They're not the type of person, when that loyalty within has been activated as it has been in this connection, when that kind of protector archetype has been activated as it has been in this connection, this is somebody that is like, I will find a way for us to create common ground. This is somebody that wants to kind of kiss and make up. They don't want the sun to set on an argument between the two of you. And if you haven't had any arguments or, points of kind of like, okay, we're not seeing eye to eye, this is somebody that it feels like is kind of preparing themselves for the inevitable point, as happens in all human connections, where, you will have those moments of diverging from one another. Something will happen. There'll be hurt feelings. There'll be misunderstandings. And this is somebody that wants to show you, like, I'm still here for you. I'm still invested in this. I'm still wanting to and interested in kind of like figuring ways beyond kind of whatever the challenges are. This is somebody who's a problem solver by nature. This is someone who is not so kind of like anchored to their own pride that they are unwilling to adapt. This is somebody who's able to admit when they are wrong. They don't always think that it's kind of like their way or the highway, that they're right and kind of like everybody else is clueless. This is the type of person. It's like, no, I don't always get things right. And so it feels like this is something that might be very refreshing compared to past people that you've dealt with, or other people in your life currently that are just very rigid in their kind of limited view of things, or even in a projection upon you. So for some of you, you may, again, kind of like be struggling to sort of stake your claim in the world. You're trying to reinvent yourself. You're kind of like moving toward lofty goals and dreams. There may be a lot of competition, or the biggest competitor could just be like yourself, like you against you. This is somebody, it feels like, that kind of like sees that, they understand that in some sort of way, and so they want to come up with different kind of approaches in order to make sure that they are bringing like peace, stability, honesty, and a very kind of like creative and enduring approach to reassuring you that even if kind of your life's a work in progress, or you're in sort of a transitional period at this point, or ups and downs happen between the two of you, this is someone that you can count on to be by your side, to be fiercely loyal, to figure out a way to kind of mend any hurts if they should occur, and to also find ways to kind of like bring you in closer to the reality that love is not just kind of a limited experience, but it's like a whole spectrum of things that this person is kind of like interested in exploring with you, so that there are reassurances on the good days and the bad days for the two of you, that this connection has enough potency and enough to kind of like mutual interest and attraction on both sides to keep things evolving, to keep things moving, to keep the two of you together. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.